magic. Oh, fuck. Okay, chickens. I get it. They don't fuck around. Let's talk about Wizards of the Coast. Wizards of the Coast has been an interesting company as of late. They were trying to monetize and shut down people that were making content off of them. And then they had to back away because people were pretty much all over them for it. Then we have this. So previously they have banned AI. Now they said, hey, you know what? We are not allowing AI art. We're not get this AI art out of here. It's trash. And that was their stance, right? That was their stance. Lo and behold, they decided, hear me out. I'm gonna play devil's advocate here. They had some social posts, and yeah, it's kind of an oopsie daisy, right? It's a little bit of a, I fell in the dryer step, bro. That's kind of where we're at with what happened. But they deleted it. I think Wizards of the Coast deleted their post saying it was made by humans. We'll read the article, but the TLDR, right, is they used a bunch of AI, Stable Diffusion, Mid-Journey, who knows what they used, for their social posts. And then they doubled down and were like, no, it's made by humans. And it wasn't. You can easily tell. And it wasn't just one. It wasn't just one image. It was multiple images. Now, they're not the only one that's been in trouble for this. I want to be like really clear here. I'm not against AI. I think that it's inevitable, right? I think that people that are fighting against it have a right to fight against it, but it's also like a disruptive technology that's going to obliterate jobs. It just is. Like, that's just a fact. Whether you like it or not, something that does a job for cheaper is going to win. And then eventually, if it can meet the same quality that you used to do or could do, you're mega. US exports a ton of jobs to other countries. That's why everything always goes to now South America, China, India, etc., etc., etc. It's been going on forever. Cheap labor is great. Now AI can do it cheaper and faster, and sometimes better. As long as the program AI to credit the original artist, you're never going to get that. I think that copyright laws are in shambles. They're archaic. Because right now in US copyright laws, anything that I draw or anything that I make is immediately copyrighted by me. And I don't need to register it with the Copyright Protections Agency. That's how copyright works right now. You can trademark something, which is very different than copyright. But the way that these large language models work, they're not going to credit you. You're not going to get a piece of the pie. It's going to be a fight. Just as when there was a fight, this is way before our times, I hope, of before when there were oil painters and then there were photographers. There was a big fight of like, oil painting is gonna die. It's gonna die. Because I could just take a photograph of the same scenery instead of painting it and it's done. It's immediate. It's instant gratification. It's instant. And I think that's the word for it, right? Instant gratification. Now we have things that can almost match, still have some issues. But again, as I've said in other videos about AI, this is the worst it will ever be. So we'll just get better from here if we allow it to, right? I don't think there's going to be enough of an outrage because while Twitter circle jerks and says, oh, we don't want this, the mass majority of people don't give a shit because it doesn't affect them. That's the reality of the world. No one gives a shit until it affects them. So when AI, starts taking their job, then they're going to care, but then it's going to be a little too late. Why would you ever main oil painting? It's beyond me. Might as well have gone into photography. I would argue that there's an artistic expression. There's different ways of how you use a medium, right? And there are plenty, I wouldn't say oodles, right? But there are plenty of people that succeed and make a living off of just doing oil painting. It's still a medium. And I think what people kind of have like rose-tinted glasses and kind of forget about is that most painters that we look up to now, or, if you're an artist you look up to and you're like, oh my God, I love this. Most of them just had rich parents. Or they married into money, so they didn't have to work so they could make oil paintings or make acrylic paintings. They weren't just being like, you know what, man, I'm making so much money off my paintings and all my shit. No. That's not the world. While we celebrate it now, it was not like the most prestigious thing back in the day, and very few made it. Anyway, we're getting sidetracked, but the TLDR is AI's here to stay. AI's gonna f it up. It's already been f***ing stuff up. And there are so many layoffs because of AI. And there's other videos I want to talk about this stuff on. But in general, Wizards of the Coast had an oopsie. They doubled down. They said, no, this is human art. Someone made this. And it was like, maybe it's human assisted art, but it's not human made art. We'll go through the article, but I think my big take here, and this one might be a little controversial, right? Who gives a shit? It's a freaking social post. It lasts less than 24 hours in Twitter. And it's dead. So why would a company spend money to have this built for a social post that last less than 24 hours. We're in like a cycle now of consumerism that is just immediate. It's like fast fashion where the things are really, really cheap and they're made to break down. I would counter that social media right now is in the same level as fast fashion, where you just want something, you get it done, and that's it. And then it goes away and you just keep digesting and doom scrolling all you want. Wizards of the Coast, I feel like got into like a little bit of a kerfluffle here because they pay artists, they celebrate artists, they do all this shit, and they also banned AI. I think that's the big thing, right? They banned AI from their cards because they were starting to get artists who were quote unquote AI artists, which is not a thing. You're not an artist if you're a prompter. I'm sorry, you're just not. Then they go ahead and do this. So it's one of those things where if you take a stance, kind of stay with it, right? You can't flip-flop, but I think that's where they're getting into trouble. If they were like, hey, you know what? We have AI art, we have traditional art, we got all the types of quote-unquote art. I don't think anyone would give a shit about this. But because they had such a freaking hard stance on this, they got roasted. Anyway, let's read the article. Magic the Gathering publishers of Wizards of the Coast has been forced to admit that it published a marketing image for the game featuring some AI components, despite initially insisting that the art was created by humans and not AI. I mean, they probably thought it was, to be honest. It's probably either another agency that's making this for them, or it's an internal small team of social media people that are just quickly pumping this shit out and realize that it doesn't fucking matter, right? The Wizards of the Coast has banned the use of AI work in its products in 2023 after AI-generated artwork appeared in Dungeons & Dragons sourcebook, and it caused an outcry. I'm actually curious what this is. Oh, so I guess that's the image. Kind of see the fucked up hand here shit. So they already had an oopsie. Not gonna lie, AI is becoming a problem for no reason, I feel. Yes and no. I feel like the AI is gonna really disrupt a lot of industries. Like you look at the Marvel intro for, oh, what was it? Secret Invasion. People were all over that thing. They're like, it looks like AI trash. And it's just like, I didn't really care. It was a fucking intro, you know? It'd be different if they used it for the actual shots, but for their intro, just. But I mean, people, I think we're in a time now where people just get like overly, I feel like they're angrier. And I think that's mainly because of how social media is designed to put you into a bubble where you only hear your opinion and people that are like-minded about you. And you never hear anything other than that. So when this happens, now they're just like super triggered. Magic the Gathering, I think it's just, they're just like L takers now. I actually want to pull it up. What is it? Dave Raposa. Dave Raposa, very famous artist. You definitely have seen his work. And just like that, poof, I'm done working with Wizards of the Coast. You can't say you stand against the blatant use AI to promote your products. Email sent, goodbye to you all. Like, there are like a decent amount of high profile artists that are just like, you know what? I don't need you if you're gonna do this, right? If you're gonna be if you're gonna be a slime ball and use AI after you said you are not going to use AI, then they're done with you. The image, since deleted, was posted on X, formerly Twitter, by the official Magic the Gathering account on January 4th. It showed 5 Magic cards resting on a Valve-powered device next to a pressure gauge in a brass and wood-filled steampunk laboratory, blah, 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 blah. It's positively shocking how good these lands look in the retro frame, the post reads. Oh, no. Many fans were quick to point out elements in the image that bore the hallmarks of generative AI, in particular, difficulty rendering fine details in a consistent way around bunches of cables, for example, or in the dial and the pressure gauge, but the Magic account initially dismissed these claims. We understand the confusion by fans given the style being different than the card art. Oh my god. Wow. So not only did they double down on it, they then questioned your eyeballs. They were like, no, it's a mistake. It's a different style. Are you fucking kidding me? You could see AI art a freaking mile away, unless it's Stable Diffusion. That's a whole different story. And if you guys haven't seen Stable Diffusion AI art, holy crap. Oh, it's good. It's good when you go on the defensive and you attack the people that are commenting on your Twitter posts. I'll read again. We understand the confusion by our fans that the style being different than our card art, but we stand by our previous statement. The publisher replied to another since-deleted post. This art was created by humans and not AI. But a few days later, Wizards of the Coast acknowledged that it had been mistaken. So I think what happened here is a social media manager doubled down on no, it's made by AI because he probably had it delivered from an agency or the agency lied to them, right? And social media managers like gave it a 5-second glance, was like, looks cool, yep, and then posted it. Or he didn't know and then someone lied to him. Like who knows, right? Oh, but this was a terrible way to handle it by far. Well, we made a mistake earlier when we said that the marketing image that we posted was not created using AI. The Magic account said in a statement post on Twitter on January 7th, as our diligent community pointed out, it looks like some AI components that are now popping up in the industry standard tools like Photoshop crept into our marketing creative. Oh yeah, by the way, if you don't know, Photoshop now has AI. It's had it for over a year plus now, but now it's part of the official package of Photoshop where you can circle something with the lasso tool. Yeah. We're going to start saying more and more AI in all of our tools, right? And that's what they are. They're tools. And I think that everyone's stance of just being pro or against is not healthy. That's not a healthy stance. As our diligent community pointed out, it looks like some of the AI components are now popping up in the industry tools like Photoshop, and I like how they're blaming Photoshop, right? Crept into our marketing creative. Ah! Thank you for that. Oh. Thank you. So where were we? Oh, that's right. That Wizard of the Coast took an L and was blaming Photoshop. The publisher continued, while the art came from a vendor. Oh, so it did come from some outside source. It wasn't an internal one. Oh, it's on us to make sure that we are living up to the promise to support amazing human integrity that makes magic great. We've already made clear that we require artists, writers, and creatives contributing to the Magic the Gathering to refrain from using AI-generated tools to create final Magic products. Now we're evaluating how we work with vendors on creative beyond our products, like these marketing images, to make sure that we are living up to those values. Okay, if that's the case, that this is an agency that was using that's gonna be interesting. Oh my God. So then Magic the Gathering really didn't take an L here then. I think they took an L by saying that, oh, no, it's not AI, when they were assuming that they paid an agency for this, right? But when an agency delivers something and then lies to their vendor, yeah, that's kind of big. To be honest, what's most likely happening is Wizards is coming back and telling this ad agency that, hey, they owe them the money back or they're not paying their invoice. Because this caused a bigger headache for them and actually did harm to their brand, then, oh, that's such a shitty. But I mean, again, it kind of buck stops, with them. And I guarantee you the social media manager was just assuming everything was fine and hunky-dory and didn't actually really check it. Because honestly, what freaking social media manager actually checks shit, to be honest? In my years in the industry, I have never seen one. I've never seen one that has actually looked at it other than maybe for spelling mistakes. Anyway, in a separate statement posted the same day on the Magic website, Wizards said that it wanted to get better at understanding whether and how AI is used in creative process. The company added, we can't promise to be perfect in such a fast evolving space. And I agree, that's going to be hard, especially with generative AI becoming standard in tools such as Photoshop. But our aim is to always come down on the side of human-made art and artists. The incident drew so much attention because Wizards of the Coast is a significant employer of artists and illustrators. True, they're one of the biggest, right? They're one of the biggest in the industry that employ artists. Especially in the case of Magic card art, has repeatedly been called out before on using generative AI in its materials and has repeatedly distanced itself from the technology after AI art was spotted in the D&D sourcebook. Big B presents Glory of Giants. Yeah, whatever. It's in a sourcebook, chat. Wizards said it hadn't been aware the artists use AI tools. Yeah, so this is where it gets really interesting, right? Where they just assume that something is right and it is art, but they're not giving it a hard look. I feel bad for the person that has to check it, right? Whether that be a creative director or whether that be a social media person, this is going to be an ever-evolving issue. And as soon as Stable Diffusion becomes a kind of standard of this industry, this is going to be even harder to spot, other than asking for their PSD files to see their layers. Because Stable Diffusion, you can't tell. But anyway, Wizards issued a more definitive ban on AI art in December, so that's not too far back, after fans claimed to spot evidence of AI generation in promotional artwork for Magic tie-in Tomb Raider. Oh God. They've just been taking L's just left and right, damn. But the incident, especially the evident confusion at the Wizards of the Coast over whether AI had been used in the creation of this image, just shows how hard it is going to be for companies working with large number of freelancer artists to stay on top of the issue as generative AI tools become ever more widespread. So this section of the image is the thing that we were talking about. Some artists who worked for the publisher showed their frustration as repeated failures has curbed the use of AI in image creation. Long-standing Magic artist Dave Raposa, who's very famous in that industry, publicly split with the company after his initial denial that the AI had been used. And just like that, poof, I'm done working for Wizards of the Coast. You can't say you stand against them and then blatantly use AI to promote your products. Email sent, goodbye to you all, he said in a tweet. But the incident, especially the evident confusion over Wizard of the Coast over whether AI had been used in the creation of the image, just shows how hard it's going to be for companies working with large numbers of freelancers. I mean, yeah, it's going to be hard. It's going to be hard. It's going to be really, really tedious. This is the thing that we were talking about. So you can kind of see here with the image that they posted that all the dials are kind of fucky. It has, like, Mid-Journey especially has problems with numbers and text. How it, like, doesn't finish details. You know, like, what is that fusing into? I could see why people are frustrated. I mean, but again, like, circling back, right? It's social media. It is, right? It's social media, and it live and dies in a day. So I think the only L here is not that they used AI for this, because frankly, who the fuck cares? Maybe some do, but to be honest, like, the general masses don't give a shit. It's that they had a hard stance, and then this happened. And it wasn't them doing it specifically, it was their agency they worked with, who guaranteed is no longer going to work with them at all, and it's probably going to be refunding them all their money. And it sucks because the agency now just lost a massive, massive client, right? But that was their choice, because they should have said, hey, guess what? That shit's AI. So Magic the Gathering took a big L on this, but guess who also took a really big L? Wacom. They had multiple images for Wacom, all AI generated. This is a big L because on top of that, Wacoms are just targeted to artists. So then you're using AI art to target your industry standard artists. A Wacom is an industry standard pen tablet. There is no other pen tablet. There's a bunch of knockoffs. No one gives a shit about them. But why on earth would you take AI art and use it for your marketing when you're marketing towards enthusiasts, professional illustrators, 3D artists? Like, why on earth did you think that this was a good idea? It's just, it's fucking crazy. And I get, you know, people are trying to save money. They're trying to be faster. They're trying to just, like, get things out immediately. I fully get it. But this was in my eyes, right? This is a bigger L than Magic's. Magic, they got lied to. This, I can't. When your whole business model is, you know, selling to professional artists, you got to try a little bit harder. Then, on top of that, we got Apex Legends using AI art. Apex Legends /EA using AI art instead of paying artists for their promo art is just depressing. Pandora's box has now truly been opened, and it feels like, to me, like we've been collectively deciding to devalue human soul for profit. I mean, yes, we've been doing that for generations. I don't know what world these artists live in where we haven't destroyed our environment. We haven't fucking polluted everything known to man. And then he thinks that, like, art isn't next. Are they in such denial that they think that companies won't try to save as much money as possible so they can give their CEOs more and more money than pay an artist, you know, $2,000, $3,000, $5,000, depending on the intricacies of the key art to make one? When they can just have an AI kind of pop it out, it looks good enough, and they just kind of poop it out. I mean, that's the reality we live in, right? That is actually the reality. So I think some of these artists are living in, like, a fantasy land. We're here, you know? I, for one, you know, hail AI overlord, right?